Today we are going to discuss about the negative mental states that hinders the progress of a meditation. Okay. There are many mental states, but Buddha picked out 5 top that are the greatest hindrance to our progress in meditation. There, number 1 is sense desire. In Pali it's called Kama Chanda Nivarana, hindrance of sense desire. Second one is hindrance of ill will, Vyabhada Nivarana. And number 3 is hindrances of sloth and torpor, Tina Meta Nivarana. Number 4 is hindrances of restlessness and remorse or worry. It is Kukucha Dukkhacha Nivarana. And number 5 is doubt, hindrance of doubt. It's called Vichikicca Nivarana. Those are the 5. And whenever we are meditating, one or the other may be like arising in your thoughts. And whenever these arises in your thoughts, these or that particular one, take away your mindfulness and replace it. As they take your mindfulness away, what happened was you become unmindful, heedless. When you become unmindful and heedless, that is the moment you are having a gap or a break in your mindfulness. And we all know we are supposed to be mindful one after the other continuously on every object that is arising at the present moment. And you will find invariably one or the other will be distracting or displacing your mindfulness. Let's see number 1, okay? Sense desire. Sense desire hinders your progress in meditation. So what is this sense desire? Okay. We can name it this way and that way, anything that concerned with all the good and great, nice, pleasant senses that we like. And if we do that way, it will be endless. We won't be able to enumerate it or put into order. So the Buddha tried to organize in a different way for us to observe the sense desire. Okay, how does the sense desire arises? In every waking moment. Let's see what are we doing. Okay. We are always looking at something or seeing something. Okay. Looking at something or seeing something. And whenever we look or see something, okay, you come in contact with the object. And whenever a certain object that you like, some might like beautiful flowers, some might like a beautiful watch, or a car, or a music, and so on. But whatever it is, whatever you see, that is, which is in the category of that you like, you want, you desire. Okay, that is one group. So this one group comes from what? From the seeing and looking. which means the source is through your eyes. So anything that comes through your eyes, that's one group. It could be anything, whatever you like, but they come in contact with your eyes. So it came in through your eye doors. Another one, in our daily life all the time, we hear things. Okay? Some very acutely, some not really. But whenever we hear things, there are certain sounds, a certain music, a certain tone, a certain intonation. We like it, we enjoyed it. So anything and everything that you hear, okay, and that you like, how did you hear? Through your ears, through the ear door. So any, let's call it objects, any kind of sound, okay, sound objects that come through your ear doors, that is another group. We don't have to say classical music or rock and roll or rhythm and blues. No, it's a pleasant sound that we like, that we love, that we desire, but come through the ear doors. And at the same time, there are times we can acutely smell the smell of a rose, smell of a lavender, and so on and so forth. And whichever smells that you like, that you enjoy, okay, that comes through your nose door, that is another group. And there's another door, which is the, you can call it the mouth or the tongue. Whenever we are eating, drinking, tasting something, and the taste that you like, apple or orange or banana, mangoes, doesn't matter, a certain taste you like, you desire, that come in touch with your tongue or taste buds. And that is another group. Okay? A group that comes from the eye doors, a group that comes from the ear doors, a group that comes from the nose door, and a group that comes from the tongue door or taste buds. 4 different doors. And there's one more door. One more door is every part of your body, in other words, skins, except your fingernails or toenails or teeth, that doesn't have any sense, or there's no nerves in it. So when these parts are touched, you cannot really know or aware or sense it. But any part of your body, when you come in touch, you can feel the sensation, touch sensation. A certain touch sensation, you really enjoyed it. A stroke with a feather, or a touch of a baby, and so on and so forth. Whatever you like, everybody is different. Some like this better and some like that better, but whichever one do we desire. So it is all the touch senses that comes through the body door, let's call it body, skin, okay. Touch, that is another group. So those are the 5 sense door. That is how Buddha defined what are the objects that we like. Group in 5. They are all from the physical source. Group from eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, and the body door. 5 physical doors. But there's one more door. That one more door is the mind door. Mind door is, what does the mind do? What is this? We have a collection of memories throughout our life from our experiences. Okay? And these collections of memories are what? It arises out of the contact with the five doors. That's all. Something that you haven't touch or taste or see, okay, it will be difficult. But anything that you have experienced before, it's in your memory. Or an incident, or a situation, or encounter, whatever it is that you like. It happens, it's in your memory. And some of these pleasant experiences in your memories were very good and very strong. You like it very much. And when you like it very much, what happened was, some occasionally, some quite frequently, it comes back into your thoughts. It comes back into your thoughts. Okay? You touch something, you like it very much. And that sensation of touch happened a week ago, but now suddenly you like it and it comes back into the memory, into your thought form. And then you can feel it as if 7 days ago, as if you were touching right now what had happened 7 days ago. The memories recall of the pleasant form. And that is called the mind door. You can bring in from the mind door things that you like, things that you love. So there are 6 doors. Through these 6 doors, through the 6 senses, we have experiences that we like, that we love, that we desire. And it could be happening right at this moment. Okay? Actually happening, what you see right now, what you touch right now, what you taste right now. Or it could be a memory recall, okay, of the things that you like. One or the other could be happening. And we have our favorites. Okay? We have our favorites there. So that is a fact. That is how the process of a person works. And that is happening every day. You are doing, you are seeing, you are hearing every day. And selectively or collectively, all the better experience that you like more than the other are stored in your memory, and there's a memory recall happens. Sometimes you go to bed and you just, that's around lunchtime, I have a great lunch. I met my friend that I haven't met for a long time and we have a great talk, and so on and so forth. And you thought about it. It happened during lunchtime. You thought about it just going to bed, your head on the pillow, and you're thinking, and you are feeling the pleasant feeling again. We use the example of samyuktam, more like a cow. If you know how the cow digestive system works, the cow eat the grasses. They eat the grasses and they just eat, they swallow it, and they have a pouch. They store in the pouch, not totally digested yet. So later when they sit down and lay down, whatever that is stored in the first pouch, they bring it back up and they chew it again, eat again and swallow. And the final one go to the second pouch. Okay. So I don't know what the proper word in English is, but that example is used quite often in Burmese culture. Basically, it's recalling your memories. And end of the day, you recall. And whenever you recall, those are the greatest experience. It happens. It comes back. And you don't have to purposely recall. It just simply pops up, whatever is great and good. And that's how we process, we accumulate all the good, pleasant, nice desirable feelings. That's how it works. And that is the actual process. And we have stores and stores of those things. And now we are meditating. We are meditating, of course. We are supposed to observe rising, sitting, falling, touching, rising, sitting, falling, touching. We direct our mind to whichever one of those at the present moment. If it is happening rising, you direct your mind to the rising movement, and then the sitting movement, sitting sensation, falling movements. And if you're observing about 3 times falling movement, falling movement, falling movement, touch sensation, pressure, and so on. You're observing and you're trying your best to be able to be with the object that is at the present moment. Okay. And when you are putting a very great effort, you go on 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then suddenly that effort of directing your mind to the object that is arising at the moment, okay, that application, that direction, or this directing of the minds, the efforts become a little weakened. Okay, weak. So when it weakens, what happens? Your mind is right on the dot of the rising movement. It might be a little off the beat, or a little bit early, or a little bit late, or you might not see it quite clearly. It is blur. It doesn't sink into the mind to become a very strong, correct mindfulness. Why? Because your effort, your application, or your application of mind towards the object become weak at that moment. As soon as it becomes weak, okay, at that moment there's a gap. There's a little gap, okay, a gap that your mindfulness is not there. And as soon as the gap comes there, boom, what does it come? One of your favorite thoughts, one of your favorite feelings, one of your favorite tune, or whatever, anything, one of the favorite that you like, that's in your psyche, just pops up. Okay. When it pops up, suddenly what happens? Your effort is low because your mindfulness is not strong. And when the thoughts come in, mindfulness is gone. Mindfulness is not there. And if you don't have a strong momentum in the mindfulness, what happens is that thoughts become a long story. From one to the other, jump. It becomes a story, and you live in that story. Oh, but the story is very good. Just like the cow eating the second time the same food. Oh, slowly, don't have to stand, you sit down and you chew. And in here, that thought comes in and it is so nice, you don't have to apply any effort. Because of that, the thought is easier to stay. But at the same time, that thought has all the little extras that attracts you and that attach you. So you stay on because it is very pleasant, effortlessly, and you roam into it. You might be exactly thinking about the situation, or you might even extend it and expand it a little extra, oh, this way or that way, or how could that be, how could this be, and so on. As it is a very pleasant and nice thought, you drifted away 1 minute, 2 minutes. Some yogis, they drifted away for about 30 minutes. And those are the artist type. They are really good with imagination. They just drifted away. So for 30 minutes, you are gone. And suddenly, boom, you remember, oh, I'm thinking, imagining. Suddenly attention come back in. You apply right back to the rising, sitting, falling, touching, rising, falling, sitting, touching. The key point at that moment is, do not blame yourself, do not find fault at anything. Simply, as soon as you become aware that you are thinking, that you are imagining, note that, know that. Okay, especially long thoughts, very strongly and sharply. Thinking, imagining. Like as if you are scolding yourself, very sharp. Because when you make it sharp, that means you have to have the oomph, you have to have an effort behind it, sharp. That effort sort of totally clear the thought patterns away. And if you are saying, oh, thinking, if that's the case, there's not enough effort or energy, so you might not be able to clear the thoughts entirely away. So long thoughts, just make it a little stronger, as if you are scolding at the thought. Thinking, imagining. And then you go back, and that you will find happen quite often in your meditation. So what it is called, this is called sense desire. Your sense desire that you have stored up in your memory. Sometimes it is a recent fresh one, sometimes a day old, sometimes a week old, sometimes a month old. But whatever these things that you enjoy, that you like, pops up in your mind door while you are meditating. And when they come in, what happened? They took the place of mindfulness. So, as you are supposed to be mindful and your mindful is replaced by these thoughts, no wonder we don't progress in a meditation. That's why these sense desire, or let's say pleasant nights, sense desire is the hindrance to your progress. So that is one. And that one you will find a lot, because you will be drifting away a lot in your thoughts. That's the number one. And number two, we call it ill will, vyabhada. Okay, ill will. When you use the word ill will, okay, like you have a will that is ill, that is not good towards others. That kind of connotation could arise. But in here is ill will is, if it is a person, you can apply that. And even if it is a person that you are intensely, okay, not liking that person, or having ill will towards that person, it makes it very strong and very intense. That is included. But not only that, when we say ill will, again, let's go back to the sense doors. Okay. We all know, and every waking moment of our life, we are bombarded with these five senses, and probably the sixth sense in a very subtle form. All these six senses are bombarding at every nanosecond at us in every waking moment of our life. Okay. And we have already explained there are pleasant sensations. Okay. Pleasant moments, pleasant situation. But that's not all. Also, we come across with people, situation, condition, things, animals, insects, objects that we don't like, that we disagree, that we don't want. that we even hate, all these objects also we come in contact. Okay? Not only the pleasant one. So in general, let's call it unpleasant. Unpleasant sensation arise. Okay? So as it is unpleasant, some objects maybe make you irritating, some objects make you frustrating, irritation, frustration. Somebody could make you angry. Okay? Sometimes it is anger. Even with the loved ones, you are angry. And also the one that you hate, you can be angry. They are so subtly different forms of anger. Aversion, because you have an aversion. Okay, some people have a great aversion towards dealing with the poops. Some people, it's okay, no big deal. Individually we change, it changes, the situation changes. We have aversion, we have anger, we have aversion, we even have hatred. Some people we really hate. Okay, we can't stand it, can't even want to look at it. Hatred. And because of that hatred and aversion and anger, you have ill will towards these people or situations or objects. Okay, so in here they use the word ill will. But in general, all the things that is bombarding at you every waking moment, things that you don't like, and those things, whichever one is intense and strong, it really makes your skin crawl. These kinds of memories, funny enough, you store those memories in a special box that you can access very easily. Okay? In a special box that you can access very easily. Still, there are things you don't like, and still you keep them in your memory. Not only that you keep them, you keep on a special box, special file that is on a, let's say on a desktop. You can quickly access. You don't even have to open a file. And these are the intensely angry, hateful, strong aversion, okay, hate. These intense things are put in a top level of your memory, the easiest access. Just like you store the greatest, fondest memories in the special place on a desktop file, easy access, don't have to open anything, click open. Just like that, you have another file which you hate. All of them you hate very easily. You can get to these file box a lot easier than the others. So these are there. It could be immediate happening. It could be this morning. It could be yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, or a year ago, or even 5 years ago. 5 years ago you have a run-in with somebody that really sort of ruin or disbalance your life, and you never forget about it. You can't forgive it. And it is, even though it is 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's in the top file. It still makes you angry. It still makes your skin crawl. So, in other words, these memories, these negative, strong negative memories, these strong negative memories that really create a highly emotional experiences are with you all the time. And under normal circumstances, okay, when you're busy doing this, doing that, they are not there. As soon as you sit down and relax, or think this, think that, or you are not doing much, these things comes up. Normal people. But in here is as a meditator, you're sitting and meditating. While you're sitting and meditating, what happened? You are the same thing, applying your best effort to observe whatever is arising at the moment. Okay. Rising, 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 sitting, falling, 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 touching, touching. You just go and observe and observe. And as soon as when your effort and application of the mind towards the object that is arising at the moment become weak, or successively, about 2 or 3 or 4, you're still mindful, but they are all weak. In those moments, just like the desirable senses, these undesirable senses also pops up. They pops up. When they pops up, what happened? You felt like as if it is happening right now. The anger arises in you again. Okay. As soon as the anger arises, and then it is you're thinking it long. When you're thinking it longer, a few minutes into it, then you might even notice. Sometimes you do notice. As soon as you become aware, your breathing pattern change, your heartbeat will become faster, your muscles are tense. Sometimes you're grinding your teeth. Because of mindfulness, when you become mindful, you see, you can observe the changes in your physical process, the body changes. Just simply because of that negative thought, the body changes. So that's why these negative emotions, negative thoughts, ill will, hatred, anger, they disbalance the normal flow of your bodily functions and body works. The blood flow, the beating of your heart, the tension of the muscle, and so on, and so on, and so on. And that's how people can get high blood pressure. If a person is engaging in these negative thoughts, stressful thoughts, a lot more of his life, then automatically it created a situation in which your immune system dropped, and these high blood pressure, headaches, tension, all these things, these kind of disease can arise. Of course, diseases are some from the intake of the food, some from the psychological, some from these thoughts. But basically, in one word, these thoughts recreate again and again and again stress in your body. Stress in the mind creates stress in your body, and stress in the body create opening for all these diseases to easily arise and take over. See how the mind and the bodies are connected. That's why it is better to live with positive thoughts and positive attitudes, and with a light heart, and rather than the negative attitudes, negative thoughts, with anger and aversion and tension. Because whoever you are angry at, hate at, doesn't even know that you are angry at him or her at this moment. The only person who is suffering and experience is only you. And who makes you suffer? You make yourself suffer by allowing these negative thoughts arises in you. That's all. So to get back to the meditation aspect of hindrance, these ill will or hatreds or anger or aversion, the intense one, arises in you whenever your effort of applying the mind towards the object of arising just become weakened. They arise and they took over, but as soon as you become aware of it, note it. It might be a thought, it might be knowing that actually you are thinking, or it might not be thinking anymore. You are deep into the thoughts and what you are aware is anger. So just anger. Or you might not be even aware of the anger. All that you are aware is simply the whole tension and tightness of the muscle. And you just observe tightness. Or the heart beating first, and then beating. And when you observe it, you will see right at that moment, gradually the heartbeat becomes slow. Your muscle automatically relax without you relaxing. And the pressure on your head release by itself. By simply being mindful of what is happening, whatever the emotion, whatever the stress, physical or mental stress applied or happening at that moment. You observe and they just simply decrease and eventually totally disappear. You don't have to shake up your hands and shake up your legs and okay, be gone, and you don't have to say anything. Simply be mindful. And they just disappear because that's the nature of mind, that's the nature of matter. They simply dissolve, disappear, if you are not pouring the fuel into it. If you are pouring the fuel into it, it wouldn't. It will keep on burning, You stop the fuel. How do you stop? Simply mindful. Basically, mindfulness is like a water. It pour it and all the fire gone. The fire of anger is gone, the fire of ill will gone, everything gone. Simply go. So, our job is to observe. When it is pleasant feeling, observe pleasant feeling. When it is happy, observe happy. When it is angry, observe angry. When you go into a great long thoughts, as soon as you become aware, you see it thinking, imagining, anger. And what you are doing was, you turn that anger into a object of mindfulness. You turn that aversion into the object of mindfulness. You turn that hatred into the object of mindfulness. So automatically, your mindfulness becomes strong again. It's not only rising and falling and touching and sitting. Anger is the object. Happiness is the object. Ill will is the object. Tension is the object. Headache is the object. Heart beating is the object. Anything and everything, whichever is dominant at this moment, you observed. And when they are gone, you go back to the rising and falling and rising and falling. So that's how ill will plays a role in your meditation. In your meditation, thoughts will arise. Some thoughts are desirable thoughts, desirable memories. Some thoughts are undesirable thoughts, undesirable, hateful, vengeful memories. Okay? At that time, while you are meditating, don't go into analysis of the content of the thought. Okay, it happens. Okay, fine. I have to forgive it. I forgive. If you are doing that, you are out of mindfulness. No, there's nothing to reflect about, nothing to analyze about, nothing to rationalize about, nothing to do about forgiveness or whatever. At that moment, it's simply be aware, be mindful. After the meditation, you can reflect like that. Okay, that run-in with a person 5 years ago, it has been on my tail for a long time and it always distresses me. I have to forgive. Okay? I have to forgive that person, because by holding on that rage, all that I am doing is I am making myself suffer. I am making myself an open door for the disease and illness to attack. These kind of reflection can make as much as you want, rationally, properly, logically, and then arrive to the point of forgiveness. And when you forgive, you can forgive it in yourself, or if you can really resolve between the two, go make a first move. Show that you don't have any rage or anger or animosity towards that person. Face to face, clear it. And whenever someone starts to make that first effort, most likely the other person also turn the same direction. And that's how it can be resolved. Otherwise, it will hang up with you for life forever. And it could even haunt you, something so intense. It could even haunt you on your deathbed. On the last moment of your death, you die with that thought. And that is very, very bad for you. When a person dies with the negative thought, negative emotion as the last thought, that person will be reborn in a states where there is a lot of more suffering, constant suffering. That kind of states you will be reborn. So last moment thoughts are very important. If you die with the positive attitude, happy thoughts, everything is cause and effect. If you die with the happy thought, that is, the happy thought is the last moment, but that happy thought is the cause, there must be an effect. What kind of effect do you expect from a happy thought? Happy existence. That's where you will be. You die with the negative, hateful thought. That thought is the last thought. That thought is the cause. What kind of effect would you get? Negative, suffering, that kind of existence. It is nothing miraculous. It is very simple cause and effect, simple logic. See? And who sent you to that state of suffering kind of life? Who sent you to the next happy life, happy existence? You, your thoughts, the way you live. That is who sent you to the, so to speak, hell or heaven. You created your own hell, you created your own heaven. With what? With your own thoughts, with your attitudes, the way you live, the way you speak, the way you think throughout life. That becomes a habit, and that takes control of the personality, actions, behaviors, and manner. And even it has influence to the last thought moment of a life, just before death. That directs you to the states of existence of suffering or existence of happiness. So don't think this is only these sense desire and ill will, only stopping the progress and growth of your meditation. It has a huge consequences. Number one, to yourself. What kind of person you become? Are you become a pessimist or optimist? Are you with the right attitude? In other words, are you always with the wise intention? We always have intention, so many intentions, but some intentions are wise. What is wise intention? Wise intention produce wise actions, wise deeds, and wise speech. And what does it mean by wise? That action, that speech, that thought is beneficial, create beneficiality for yourself and for your surrounding, anybody who is in contact with you. That's it. That's a wise thought. Wise thought is the cause, and the effect. Effect is the beneficial, harmonious, non-violent environment for yourself and for others. And if you have a wrong intention or wrong attention, you created a wrong move, violent move, cruel moves. And what happened? It creates the negative states, suffering state, angry state, sad state, sorrowful state, lamented state. Where does it come from? It comes from your thought. Wise thought or wise intention, wrong thought, wrong intention. It's all triggered from there. And this mindfulness makes you and train you to be acutely aware of your wise thought and acutely aware of your wrong thoughts. Everything springs up from thought into speech and into deed. So don't look at this sense desires and ill will only as a hindrance to your meditation. It encompasses your whole life. It encompasses your surrounding, your neighborhood, your society and humanity. It encompasses and directs what kind of existence you will arise again in your next life. So with that, we'll conclude today. And the other remaining three, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubt, we'll discuss on the next lecture. May all of you be able to practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, overcoming sense desires and ill will, and be able to create peace and harmony for yourself and for your neighbors and for humanity. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Buddham pujemi. Dhammam pujemi. Sangham pujemi. Thank you very much.